I'd like to welcome you to our season 5, our 4 live instructional webinars designed to support the school annual online yearbook program. Today, we will be focusing on the functions related to proofing and submitting pages. Specifically, uh, we will be reviewing using virtual book, running spell check on pages, reviewing pages for duplicate portraits, completing pages, reversing completed pages, and resolving any other issues. We will be also showing how to submit pages and get the proper paperwork filled out for on time to get those submitted. This webinar will be approximately 30 minutes, so let's go ahead and get started. First and foremost, we're going to revisit bleeds and margins and make sure that when you're looking at your book and starting to complete the book and all that, um, here we have the diagram right here for the bleeds and margins. Anything and everything in the green right here is safe, good to go, no issues. They will print fine. They will print the way they need to. Anything in this orange to this red line right here, um, there we would say that kind of use a little bit of caution on picking which photos to put there. This gray area from the top of this red line right here to the bottom of this gray box right here. This is roughly the trim line right here. This bottom line is actually where the trim line actually is. And please remember there is a 1/8 inch plus minus to that trim line. To give you a visual of that, we're going to go here. We're going to save this page and we're going to go to print preview. So to kind of take a look at where your images are, do a print preview, and this will give you the trim line right here, this black and white dotted line. So if we take a look at this trim line right here, it is actually going through a student. So this is an image that we may need to either replace it or we could move it somewhere else. Because if we move this image here and then we move an image like this, maybe up here to the corner, that way I can get both trim lines. Then we're going to go back up to print preview. May take it a second. But what will happen is we'll just move this line right here. I won't worry about that. But this teal line here and here at the top, you will see that it won't go through any of the students, just some of the background. Here on the side, you can still see enough of this student that you shouldn't have to worry about it. But still, take a look at your images. The last thing you want is a student that is trimmed and then they can't be seen, and you may have a parent or grandparent that might be upset because that one image is not, is trimmed or whatever. Right. So let's go ahead and let's take this time to talk about um, submitting your personalizations, but because before you submit your book, they have asked that you submit your personalization. So go up to Sell and then submit personalization if you have them. For those of you that have personalized books, you will have to first confirm your personalized color choice. So any of the colors right here. If you have any questions, please call your rep and ask your rep about any of these. You can also select the payment status that you want to include in your personalization. This is telling us to print any books that were paid in full or paid partially. If you only want the paid in full books, you can uncheck that or you can check it. It's up to you. Right here is not paid. If you want to include not paid, again, check the box or uncheck it. Again, it's up to you. Number three is confirm the results. So this will tell you right here the number of students that are personalized or have ordered personalized books. As my demo, of course, I don't have any, so it will naturally read 0 for me. But you may see a number of books right here. Please confirm that that is the number that are actually sold. Next is books, box books alphabetically by, here we have alpha, so basically last name, grade, homeroom. So how do you want those books packaged and present to you? It's basically whatever is easier for you. So after selecting one, come down here to submit, and then it will submit that personalization, and then that way they can get started on it as soon as you submit your book. Oops. We're experiencing an outage. Okay, hold on just a minute. All right, sorry about that. I'm just making sure that we're not experiencing uh, issues here right now. I'm trying to get back to the main page. Okay, let me just do that. So while I wait for this to decide what it wants to do, we'll go ahead and um, continue on here. So some of the things that um, we would like for you to do is when you're reviewing your pages, one of the things I would suggest is having a fresh pair of eyes on your book, looking at the pages, especially looking at spelling and grammar and making sure students' names are spelled correctly and any writing in the book is spelled correctly and done, you know, the way that needs to be done. So we ask for you to check all text and spelling, run spell check, especially on pages of importance, like your first page or a letter to the principal or anything like that, because then that way, if there's any errors or anything like that on the book, they can get fixed now instead of being pointed out by parents after the books are being handed out. Um, Also, when you're doing that, take time to review the portraits. Hopefully, this is all coming back now. Making sure that you don't have double images of students or double names of students or anything like that, or you have, especially if you have the remake, make sure the remake is on there or the retake instead of the original or whatever one that was selected. All right, so now we can go over here to this page and we can kind of show you what I mean. So some of the things we're going to look on this page. So we're going to check some of the spelling right here. So here we have the word school that is spelled wrong, you will have this line underneath it. Sometimes it may have a line underneath it just because it may not know um, the spelling of it, especially students. It's notorious for students, so it may not understand that that is the correct spelling of the names, but it's still a good idea to go ahead and double check it. So at this time, take this time to click on that. Go ahead and fix that name right there. The other things we're going to do is we're going to look at this page, especially candid pages. We've noticed this quite a bit on candid pages. We're going to make sure that things are um, not left over, such as image frames. Just to refresh, this is what an image frame looks like right here. Just a blue box with a little mountain and sun around this square. So that is a little frame around this little picture. So in picture frame or an image frame. So we want to make sure that all those are used on a page. The best way to do that is we're going to come over here to the bottom right hand corner of the screen right here. And we're going to click this little box. Then we're going to click this little triangle with an exclamation point in it. That's our pre-flight. Anything currently wrong with the book or any mistakes or anything issues that would prevent it from being marked complete will be shown in a little box, little yellow box with that triangle and exclamation point in it. So here you can see we have 3 right here. So to understand what those 3 are, we're going to come over here. We'll see that 002 or page 2 has 0. We'll come down here to 003 or page 3. Here we'll have 3. We'll click on that, and then here's the 3 things that are currently an issue on the page. First one, it says a text element remains unedited. So what does that particularly mean? What this means is a a text box that's these right here, this little text box that says the word headline, that is on the page and it has nothing and nothing's been written in it. So we can click on this word and then we can see it's highlighted here on the page. This is the one of the areas that you may need to check. Here we'll have a dark colored text on a dark background, so it's really hard to see. So it's something like this. You can see that like it was just a text box that was grabbed and just placed on the page and then never used. So the best thing to do is you could just push delete on your keyboard and remove that. Here you will see that number 1 is still there. Even though we removed it from the page, it's still here. After we click on save, you will see that now we just have 2. So the system doesn't know that that issue was taken care of until after you hit save. So we're going to click on the next text box. Here it is in this little corner. We're going to push delete. Here it says an image element remains unedited. Basically what it means is an image frame remains unused or nothing was dropped into that image frame. So we can click on it and it will highlight this. So it looks like it's highlighting this picture, but it's not highlighting the picture, it's highlighting the image frame that's behind the picture. So if we move this image out of the way, we can see that this image frame, it was right here. This happens when we try to drop an image, like that image right here, into this image frame, but sometimes that image frame is just a little too big for this image. So here we see just a little sliver of that image frame behind the image. That means so sometimes what happens is we're over here on the image when we click and hold and then we just drag this image over and then we just let it go. It fits perfectly over it. But the problem is it just didn't go inside that image frame. It's just sitting on top of it. And so all you have to do is just click on this, push delete, and that image frame is now gone. We can click on save. All the errors are taken care of. And then we can move on to the next page. So here on the next page, it's just another candid image, candid page. We got some writing here. So we'll have to take a look at all this writing right here. Yes, it's quite a bit, but it's better to check for it now than to have it pointed out later on. So some of the things can be obvious, such as, this headline right here was never uh, finished or never edited. So you can go back in and then just ungroup and just start fixing whatever you need to be, whatever needs to be fixed. Whatever image was supposed to go there, you can go back to your images, drag and drop, and put an image there. You can once again go back over to your pre-flight right here, and this will tell you everything that is currently an issue on the page. We can come over here, and then we can see like all these text boxes right here that are on the pages that were just never used. Also, if we want to look, we definitely want to check images that were used. Here we have an image that's overlapping another image. So that's something you may want to take a look at, maybe move this image somewhere else, or relocate this image somewhere, or anything like that. Here we have another image right here where the top of this teacher's head is in the trim line. So that's something we may want to revisit and possibly move this image or do something with this image right here. All right, so let's move on to portraits here real quick. So here we can look and we have this class, we have uh, fourth grade, probably should be fourth grade. So we can always click and highlight that, fix that real quick. All right, and then what we want to do here is we want to double check these portraits and their names. So we can come up here to the zoom, and we can zoom in just a little bit. And what we want to do right here is check the image, make sure the names underneath it are correct. Now here we have a student with two pictures, two names. So chances are one shouldn't have been in the book. So all we have to do is go back, mark this one, do not use, go back to flow, of course, reset the class, and then reflow the class to get rid of one of these images. And of course, here we have the same image twice right here, but we have two different names. So verify that there actually are twins in that class. So keep going down, make sure everything is fine here. All right. Also, one thing that I will ask that will help is under flow right here, under category, select the teacher that you currently are looking at. Before you're done proofing all of these and moving on, under category, select the teacher, then take a look right here. Make sure they have 21 images, and this is the most important one. Make sure 21 images are flowed and 0 are remaining. Because we're going to get up to this teacher, we're going to take a look at everything, or make sure everything is spelled correctly, make sure we have the right students. So before we leave, we're going to go down to her class. She had 21 images. Here we go, 20 flowed and 1 remaining. So this is why we want to double check and make sure that we're not forgetting a student, because here we have 1 remaining. And the last thing we want to do is try to explain to a parent why their student's portrait was not in the class portraits. So here we'll just simply reset the flow, double click on one of these blue boxes, click the eye that's crossed out right here. Then we're going to save the page and then flow. And then now we have check again, 21 images, 21 flowed, 0 remaining. Okay, we're good to go. So now we can move on to the next page. And then real quick, I missed this. We want to make sure that we have, if you include page numbers, make sure you have all your page numbers. So here we have, page 5 right here, but we don't have a page number right here. So just make sure we go over to our text, click and hold on page number, bring it over to the page, Just let go and it snaps it back into place. So here we have our page numbers. All right, so now that we've proofed our book, we took a look at everything, we're ready to mark it complete, then mark it submit. We're going to come up here to plan and then page ladder. All right, so now we're actually ready to start uh, submitting. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on select, and then we're going to click on actions, and then we're going to click on complete. Now you may get a little pop-up right here. Now this is my demo, so you're not going to get as many failed as I did because a lot of these pages aren't even started. But you may get like 2 or 3 or 4. You may get only one, may get 0. But basically, this tells me that these pages did not complete because there may be additional work that needs to be done on those pages. This top one will tell me which pages were actually marked complete. I'm going to click on OK. So right here, you can see this green box underneath them. It says complete. These will say in progress because there's something currently an issue on the page that we need to resolve. And then you can always go down, see which pages are not complete. And then, of course, you can go onto the pages. This is where you will use your pre-flight to check to see what issues are still remaining. All right, once those issues are all taken care of, to submit your book, we're going to click on select. Now, before we do go anywhere else with this, um, once you submit your book, you're telling us that it is good to go in print as is. Currently, in the complete status, this is your proof. This is your time to take a look at everything one last time, double check everything. I'm sure you've heard me repeat this a lot, double check everything, take a look at everything again, because this is it. This is your proof. This is the last time you will have a chance to return everything before the book is submitted and turned to us. If you do catch an issue, you can get with your representative to have the book returned. But please keep in mind that depending on when you're getting your book returned to you, it may affect your ship date. So please talk to your rep about your returning pages and your ship date at the same time. Uh, so select them all. Then under actions, click submit right here, and this will submit your pages. Then all the pages that are green uh, will have a black box right there. It will have the word submit right there. If for any reason you need to return your pages, you can click on select all and click on return, or you can just click the return button right here if you want to return your pages. So I'm going to return all of them. All right. So if you need to print out all your pages for any reason, if you're a school that the principal has the final say on anything and all that, you can click on select all, then come up to print selected. Um, you can also go up to print and print all. With print selected, you can just select like the first 3 pages, come up to print and then print selected. You can't click print all, and it's currently generating a PDF right here. So as this may take a minute or two, depending on the number of pages you have, how high quality the images are, um, and how many images you have. So you may need to give this a minute or two to download. Once this is done right here, you can click on the little button that will appear. It's a little square with an arrow. So you can click on that and it will generate and it will pop up the PDF. Then from there, you can download the PDF and send it on to whoever needs to look at it. So another thing you can do, and since we got this is going to take a minute or two, you can come over here to Showcase and Virtual Book. Here you can actually look at your book virtually and actually look at the way it's going to look, potentially going to look in the book. Okay, make sure we. All right. So, in the interest of time here, we're just going to select a few right here and then go print selected. This will not take as long, but I do want to show you this PDF, what this PDF will look like. Um, there we go. Of course. Okay, so there's an error somewhere. They may be working on something. But yeah, you will get a PDF proof of your book. I think they're working on something on the back end right now. Um, but once you get that PDF, you can take a look at it, send it to whoever needs to look at it again, and then they can submit your book from there. Once you submit your book, usually within a day or so, you may get an email from your advisor, uh, basically saying, "Hey, congrats, your book is done." They may send you information to verify, like your school address or the shipping address we're shipping these books to, the number of copies. There may be some like the original agreement or other paperwork right there for you to look at and get back to the advisor or to your rep as soon as possible. And it may also have an invoice attached to it as well. All right, I'm going to read this outro real quick, and then we'll open it up to Q&A. I want to thank you for joining us today. The demonstrations of the functions related to the finalizing pages in the school annual online program may reduce the stress sometimes associated with meeting a deadline. Please feel free to contact support, me, or customer service consultant, your rep, uh, to aid in this project. Everyone at School Annual Company is looking forward to seeing this year's creation. So